You're listening to Sit, Talk, and Listen podcast with your hosts, Payroll Rob and Xavier Bauer.
Hello. It is us. It is your boy, Payroll Rob, Xavier Bauer. It is Monday, May 20th, 2024. Yeah, we are here on a Monday. Back on our regular schedule, hopefully.
So 5 days in between.
5 days. Hopefully enough stuff has happened for us to talk about. Otherwise, it'd be a boring show. But I think a lot of stuff has happened since the last time we convened. So I don't know if we should jump right into it or if you want to.
When we left off,
shake each other's willies first. We'll
do that.
Even though I know we just saw each other. Xavier was just over the other day for a little gathering. We had a soiree at the house.
Well,
invite only. So I don't want to.
Black tie affair.
If you weren't wearing the black tie, you weren't getting in the house. Those are the rules.
And that's why we all sat outside. It was a good time. It was a great party. It was the engagement party. I think we've covered your engagement.
Yeah, we've talked.
But yeah, so it was really nice. A few drinks. It was perfect weather outside. We get to sit outside on your back porch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is.
And
it was good weather.
Good food from Cecil's and Chuck's Hot Chicken. Fire. If you haven't had Chuck's and you're in the St. Louis area, get it.
Yeah, Chuck's is good. Shout out to the Chuck's.
And then the karaoke. We had some karaoke. I talked to your brother. We had like long conversations with him and his wife, and that was really nice.
Yeah, just a good chance to bring everybody that's gonna participate or be close to the wedding together. So that was the fun of that. No shouts out to them. To the peoples.
But yeah, so it was a good time. Last time we talked, Scottie Scheffler was getting arrested.
We didn't talk about it. It wasn't going on last time we got together.
Oh, we didn't.
We did not on the pod.
I did. I texted you and said emergency pod about it. So yeah,
do you want? We should fill the people in that don't know.
That's got to be the lead. Then
Scottie Scheffler.
Well, I mean, news. I feel like we missed a boat on it.
Well, no, it's still news.
So Scottie Scheffler, the number one golfer in the world.
For those who need to be updated,
we have a huge golf fan base.
Yeah, I know. But for those that aren't golf, because we have such a large reach, we need to bring them up to speed.
Yeah, and Brendan Butler was telling me that not only do we have a large reach, but we have a larger reach than I think we even thought.
Oh,
so yeah, Brendan was like, "Hey, emphasize more on how large of our reach is," because I don't think, So sorry, Brendan, we'll start squeezing that in more for you.
We'll see what we can do. So Scottie Scheffler.
Yeah, Scottie Scheffler, the number one golfer in the world. They are at the PGA Championship, which is in Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, as the locals like to call it. I heard Louisville. You have to sound like you have rocks in your mouth.
Those fucking hicks.
Louisville.
Anyways, now tragically, there was a man on the way to said event. Sorry, Jamie. There's a man on the way to the event, got hit and killed by a shuttle that was taking other
patrons
to the event, and this causing a delay and obviously traffic backed up. I think that they said the golfers were told they can go around and go through a different entrance.
Yeah, well,
that's what led to Scottie.
That's the whole, I guess, crux. The he said, she said. It's all about the he said, she said bullshit. You know.
I think you better quit.
That's what they told him. That's what they said. And he said, "I'm not listening to this. I'm taking off, I guess." Drove while the cop was attached to his car somehow. I don't know.
It's out. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and think that. I just don't really see Scottie being the guy to just fucking purposely ignore police officers and drag them with his, automobile.
Yeah, it seems likely that he had no idea the guy was trying to get more his attention or grab onto his car or whatever. It seems like he had no clue about that. So it's interesting. That's all. It's probably the first time that a number one golfer in the world had been arrested on the way to a round of golf tournament. And especially
the cop
a major
that came
tournament.
up to him after that happened, yanks him out of the car, pushes him against. He gets arrested before his tee time.
Literally arrested, brought downtown, put into a jumpsuit
a
of all
orange
things.
jumpsuit, yeah.
Yeah, like they said, you got to put this on. They took his mugshot, it brought him in, brought up charges against him. Those charges have to be officially, I think, arraigned. What do they call that when you bring... So the world's top-ranked golfer who lives in Texas was originally scheduled to be arraigned in Louisville, Courtville, Tuesday at 9 a.m. It was rescheduled for 9 a.m. Monday, June 3rd. They granted that. They talked to the police chief because they said when asked, I'm just jumping through this article here. I'm not making it.
So I guess I'll talk while you're still looking through that.
Well, I'm reading it. I just wanted to make sure I didn't leave anything important out, but I didn't want to read the whole thing verbatim.
Well, he just had a baby a few days prior to that.
Right.
A lot going on in Scottie's world.
So they asked Scottie's lawyer if he thought the charges against Scheffler would be dropped, and he said that there hadn't been any decisions about that. This is an article from just a few hours ago today, again being Monday, May 20th.
Yeah, and the PGA Championship ended yesterday. Xander Schauffele won. It was his first major.
Do you think that him winning the major is now overshadowed by this whole Scottie being arrested incident? Like, are people going to remember this as the major that he got over the hump and was able to pull out a major victory? Or do you think they're going to remember it as, that's the one that Scheffler got pulled out of the car and arrested before his second round?
Good question. I think like the golf community, like the more avid like golf fans, will see this as Xander's first win. But like the casual to just sports fans that only see golf because it's on ESPN, they're going to still like think of this as, that was where Scottie and and all this, that guy being killed after being struck by the shuttle, like that kind of got lost in all this, which is pretty tragic. I mean, imagine being on your way to go
He's
watch.
just trying to go. Yeah, I guess that's obviously a sad outcome of all of this, is that was overshadowed.
Maybe you could say, like, you could spin zone and say, like, sucks to, like, Xander, your first major win has got this black cloud hanging over it.
How soon do you think PGA goes back to Louisville?
No,
Valhalla on their short list?
No chance, but it's a cool ass name, Valhalla.
Valhalla.
So yeah, that happened. Last night, if we're gonna
Last night
we let the liquor talk, but if we're gonna just cover all the sports stuff,
sure. There's some things.
I had a few bets with coworkers on the Denver Nuggets to beat the Timberwolves in Game 7. They were up 20 in the third quarter, and it turns out that two players can't beat a whole Timberwolves team. That it infuriated me. The Timberwolves' best player, Anthony Edwards, 6 for 24. Now, if you hear that, and Jokic did his normal Jokic stuff, there is no way that I'd believe the Nuggets would blow a 20-point lead. Somehow they did. Absolutely terrible. The one time I ever bet on the Nuggets, who beat my Lakers 2 years in a row, and that's what happened. So I was pretty pissed last night. I did lose sleep.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards haunting your dreams.
Not even him. He had a shit game. But the funny thing is, these Timberwolves are getting really cocky. They were waving by to the crowd.
Hey.
Anthony Edwards, when you shoot 6 for 24, maybe not the time that you should be waving by to the crowd.
He's taking on that heel role. He was in that movie.
That's fine, but like you have.
You remember that? Did you ever see that movie he was in?
Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, Hustle, Adam Sandler movie.
He was in that?
Yeah, he was like the villain, essentially. There was the Serbian dude or foreign guy, basketball player that Adam Sandler like took under his wing as an agent, was trying to coach him up to be drafted in the league, and then Anthony Edwards was like the villain character, being like, "You ain't shit," talking all.
It's
this
funny.
stuff.
Anthony Edwards is only like in his 4th year now.
I don't know, so I'm just saying.
But
it's.
I loved Anthony Edwards before last night, and I probably will again. But when I lose money and then I have to watch this guy have a piss poor game, and he's the one waving by to the crowd, is that a real villain move? A villain? Now, I would have loved it. Besides the fact the Nuggets lost, and I had money on them. If Anthony Edwards had, 40 points, even 30 points, and he's doing that, well, come on, man, you weren't the reason they won that game last night. And then, as the time Didford gave up, they were down 7 with like 30 seconds left. They stopped playing, and they were just going to dribble out the clock.
Oh.
Jalen McDaniels tries to do a fucking windmill dunk.
I heard about that. I didn't see it.
What
I heard
the
about
fuck
it.
is this?
Yeah, that's because somebody I saw on the tweet machine. I guess it's the X machine these days, not the Twitter machine. Either way, they were like, "What? Who was it? It was that Rex Chapman guy. He used to be a basketball player, I guess. But he was talking about if you would have tried to slam dunk it in that obvious closeout seconds of a game when nobody's trying, in like a game 7, it would have been a fight on site. Like,
oh yeah, obviously in my fit of anger at how the game was, and not dealing with it the best. I was hoping that somebody took his legs out from under him when he tried to do that shit. I mean, come on, dude. That's fucking Bush League.
It is. I mean, you know what? I don't know, right? Like, it is Bush League, but then you got the guys that say, if you don't like it, play better. But, like, the game was over. Don't just, like, drag your nuts in their face.
No, I agree with, you could say that about Anthony Edwards. If you don't like him waving at the crowd, play better. But, right. I mean, and then if you're going to do it, make the fucking dunk. Yeah,
I guess like I said, I didn't see.
Ass clown.
I didn't see it. I just heard about it.
So I really, there's events that can happen in sports where you're like, man, I had nothing against the T-Wolves. Only reason I even took the Nuggets is because the people I bet with were giving me even money on them. And through Vegas, they were -4.5. So, I was like, I have to take it. And they were up 20. So, anyways, it really made me lose a lot of respect for the Timberwolves. Dude. Just so fuck them.
He said, so anyway, that's why I'm
there will be a new NBA champion this year.
We said what?
There'll be a new NBA champion. Well, new to...
Who are we down to? I don't even know.
The Celtics wouldn't be new. It's not like it would be their first championship, but I mean, relatively...
Have they won? Celtics.
Yeah, but the Celtics will be taking on the Indiana Pacers, and the Timberwolves will be taking on the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay, so a couple little small market teams comparatively to the bigger market teams.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas is pretty big, but
that's what I'm saying.
I do think it'd be cool.
Indiana and Timberwolves are considered smaller market teams compared to Dallas and compared to Boston.
I think Boston, Dallas would be a great championship because, Boston absolutely fucking hates Kyrie, and I think it's reciprocated, the feeling. So that'd be cool.
Kyrie's on Dallas these days?
Dallas?
Does he play, or is he in a period where he's decided not to play?
He's playing all the time, him and Luka, which last year that experiment...
I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to be my NBA guy, so just know I'm going to ask questions.
Yeah, so Kyrie got traded last year midseason to Dallas, and, him and Luka both kind of ball-dominant players, both point guards, and it kind of tanked Dallas' season, so it was like, this isn't going to work.
Well, bad chemistry action?
They've got chemistry this year. They figured it out. They're playing well. They're in
you
the
think
Western
they
Conference
went and
Finals.
did like a round of putt-putt? Went and hung out?
Little putt-putt.
Got to know each other at a deeper level over a round of putt-putt.
Yeah, they got to know each other on a deeper level.
I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense.
Deepest of levels.
Mark Cuban curated that?
Yeah, and Mark Cuban had stepped down from ownership this year, but he's still at the games. I see him.
And he's fostering relationships between his players, I think. He's decided to take that role.
I believe that to be the case, yes.
All right, that's what I can bring to the NBA conversation.
That's our NBA talk.
But so staying in the lines of professional athletes that are in a lot of news right now, we didn't talk about. I guess it had just kind of started really being talked about last time we got together a few, 6 days ago. But the Chiefs punter.
Ooh.
Do we want to touch that one? Or we want to
go ahead?
Chiefs punter.
Relative. I feel like it's his, like we said, we're not a political podcast.
Oh, he's not a punter. I guess he's a kicker.
He's a kicker.
Well, that's the thing.
Harrison
Can we
Butker.
discuss it without having to like dive into the politics of it all?
Yeah.
Can we just talk about it like
Sure.
civilized people?
Yeah.
Everything's not so blazing politics. But that's what he did. That's what he so Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker, that's his name, right? Right. So he gave a commencement speech at a graduation at Benedictine College, which is a Catholic college, private school. You know, they can bring in anybody to give a speech. They chose to bring him in. He gives a speech, and he has comments that are, you know, taken. They are pointed. You know, I'd say he's taken shots at a lot of different people. He's taken shots at the Catholic Church. He's taken shots at obviously Joe Biden, and he's taken shots at. I say taking shots. He's basically telling women how they should think, and then he's telling men that they should, you know, be the ones to set the tone of the culture and be proud of their masculinity and this and that. And at the end of the day, I guess it's like he's entitled to his opinions, but his opinions aren't helping anybody. You know, he's only 28 years old. This dude hasn't lived any kind of life, you know.
They're definitely divisive. And I think, you know, I talked to a few women that I work with yesterday at Ballpark Village about it. Just asked their thoughts. And they said that, like, and I agree with what they said. They were like, kind of like you just said, that those are his opinions. And, you know, I don't think he was trying to be malicious. He sounds like he's a little behind it. He went to a very conservative school, which is where he was speaking at, and kind of speaking to a very conservative crowd.
Well, that school's not always been this conservative. That's kind of been a recent thing where some of the Catholic society is like steered further into like deeper right-wing thinking and being like, we need to be more conservative, more conservative, more conservative.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I think that, but you have to know, first of all, you have to know.
For the record, the college, the Sisters of Benedictine came out and said that they were against the speech here in the last few days. So,
well, I just think anything divisive in nature, and you have to know if you're Harrison Butker, you have that platform that, even if you have the right to think or whatever, I don't think he was trying. I personally don't think he was trying to say women are stupid and therefore they should only be. But he was saying basically that
some
they
of
won't
you
be
may
fulfilled.
They won't. Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
Yeah.
I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she started living her vocation as a wife and a mother.
He said, I would be the first to say, or his wife would be.
I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabella, would be the first to say that.
Right,
her life,
Isabel?
Yeah, essentially. So, you know, he's saying that his wife's life didn't truly start until she became a wife and a mother. And it's like, is that true?
It's very divisive, and I just think it's one of those things. It's like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
like if you don't have anything that's gonna, you know, bring a community together and keep your thoughts to yourself. So if you have to vocalize every fucking thought you have, if you know the society is probably going to disagree with you, just like you said, what is it? What was saying that going to do?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so just shut the. But classic. I would not expect anything else from a Kansas City Chief organization player. You know, this is the same organization that's had, you know, Pat Mahomes' brother and wife running around acting like complete ass clowns, and you know, it took them a while for them to kind of put that at bay, and. Yeah, so Harrison Butker definitely out here.
I just think so. I mean, like I bring it up not to like sit there and talk specifically about his comments, but I do think that it does paint a broader problem that I'm like, you know, starting to notice and realize. It seems like a lot of younger men, especially, are being more and more reeled in and brought into this. It's all what it is: far right. Very strict conservative mindsets of like, no, we need to make a stand as men. It's our job to be controlling and to like women need to serve us. They're being told that like this is okay, and it's like I don't understand the backslide. I guess Like, what are guys trying to be able to do? Go back to a time when they can like beat their wife and nobody would question them about it? Like, I don't understand the end game
P.
here.
Diddy would like that right now.
I had a P. Diddy
We'll get there.
coming up there. I mean, it's not much to get to. His video surfaced and he says, "Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I fucked up."
Now, the tinfoil hat people are saying that's not Diddy.
Diddy didn't do it?
No.
For
The apology. They cloned him. With Gucci, dude. There's also Gucci Mane's a clone.
Oh, they're all clones. Well, what's the benefit of that?
Clones.
Gucci and P. Diddy.
What's that?
Why are we cloning them? Why?
Well, Gucci, if you remember, if you look up pre-prison Gucci, pull it up, Jamie. Pre-prison Gucci and post-prison Gucci, it's like, you know, he does look very different, more so than physically speaking. But I don't know anything about that or the clones or what like you said, why they would even clone. Now, P. Diddy, now I could say there is definitely a reason why you would think they would clone P. Diddy, right?
Why would they clone him? That's not going to get him out of charges. You know.
Well, here's what I'm saying is, if P. Diddy is the tip of the iceberg as far as this fucking sex trafficking and child molestation goes, if he's the tip of the iceberg, when you say, okay, well, now that Diddy's caught, he's going to out all these people, right? So we got to kill him. And we'll create this clone.
I still don't understand.
Because if P. Diddy...
What?
If he was
you
around,
know that he's going to be the guy that's getting in trouble and he's going to take down the empire.
What if he speaks out?
Wouldn't they
against
just
all these
kill
other
him?
things?
Kill him
Yeah, they would just kill him.
and
But you
leave
can't-
it at that?
No,
Why do they
because
gotta
then you'd have to
replace
explain
him
to the
with a
public
clone?
why all of a sudden P. Diddy's dead.
He killed himself. Just set it
Yeah,
up.
that's
for
what I'm
that.
saying. They're saying the same thing about Jeffrey Epstein. And
That's what I'm saying. So, like, why they're going to go through all this trouble to find a clone? No, that's
I'm
the
just telling you.
technology's not there.
I'm not. I'm just telling you what the thing would be.
Well, I'm
and
just
people are
telling
saying
you that's
P.
fucking
Diddy is a
stupid.
clone in his apology.
Well, we're really jumping off some fucking
I'm
cliffs
telling
of
you what
society.
the people are saying.
Well, look, you can be the mouthpiece for the people, and I'm
not
here,
the mouthpiece for the people. That's,
and I'm here
I'm
to
telling
tell
you what they're saying.
to take this back to the
If
people.
I told you that, you know, I could tell you what happened on January 6th, and I'm not the mouthpiece for those people. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, well, take it back to any people and tell them they're fucking stupid.
So how are we going to put a bow on this Harrison Butker talk?
I think the only bow to put on it is to say, like, get the fuck off of TikTok and social media and stop fucking listening to Andrew Tate. You know, like,
There's other ones too.
have conversations with.
It's a lot of incel. Like you said, I do.
That's what I'm
think
saying. I think there's a slight bit of concern with the vulnerability of the younger men in our society currently. You know, especially in America, it just feels like these young guys are more willing than ever to jump onto this.
But I am seeing a lot of women too, which is going to only fucking further the thing.
Right.
Get on here and say like that, like he was right and this and that and all this shit.
Well,
so
see,
I
those
just
are
think that's what I'm saying. It's been very divisive.
Yeah, and that's the loud minority. You know, it's the very, very small number of people, women especially, that are like, yeah, we agree with him. We're homemakers, and they're like third generation of generational wealth families, and nobody's ever had to work because their grandfather invented something crazy or whatever. You know, but that's probably the 0.5% of the total amount of people that are talking about it. And that's the ones that, you know, news articles and whoever else to get grabby headlines will grab and be like, this woman says that she thinks that these comments are great. And that's another thing.
Yeah. Well,
why it's when you see articles about it right now, all you see is this person has this to say about Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker. This person has this to say about Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker. We've gotten to the point where something happens, and then every article that comes out for weeks after is everybody else's in the world's response to what that was. Like, do we need all that? Did anybody ask what Eddie Vedder had to say about this? No, but is there an article that tells you what Eddie Vedder had to say about this? Yes.
well, why? I just don't think any men need to be talking about this in general. I
Well-
mean, isn't this like it's not really men's place to tell women what should make them fulfilled and what shouldn't?
That's the biggest thing to me. Like,
just
he's
like-
talking about it like he knows, coming from a place of experience, is like, women, you guys will be happy when you do this thing.
Like that's the only thing that, well, not the only thing, but that's just the thing. It's like, you're not a fucking woman. Like, what are you up there? Like, this, you
don't need
you have no place of reference other than your wife. Like, I'm sure your wife isn't going to tell you, like, oh my gosh, my life still doesn't feel complete. If, you know?
Yeah. Like, you don't see, like, some woman getting up there giving a graduation speech and being like, all right, gentlemen, your only thoughts should be about how you're going to support your wife and give her the best things possible. And you're a failure if you do anything otherwise.
Yeah, and I do think there is some of that out there, which I also think is divisive, but not necessarily on the platform that Harrison Butker has, and certainly not at a graduation pointed at, you know, you don't have a woman up there at imagine a woman at a graduation saying, and men, you know, you won't feel fulfilled unless you're making $500,000 at bare minimum, and you can put your family in this kind of house, and this, you know, it's almost the same thing, and it's very cringy.
Essentially, exactly.
And it's
you got to always put the shoe on the other foot, and
like,
I think
read the fucking room, dude.
People
not
don't
even
do
read
that.
the room. Just you got to know how. Like, this is going to be received, but it's surprisingly the Chiefs owner's wife had came out and kind of in support.
Yeah, and again, somebody that's been in generational wealth and never had to worry about like how she was going to support herself.
No, I think you could say that both men and women, like on both sides, you hear a lot of things say the happiest day of my life, or, you know, I love being a father, I love being a mother, all that stuff. But to say that your life doesn't begin into that, like.
Right.
That's just, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Like, your soul, you know.
Yeah, that's
like, I feel like,
small
you know,
of a box.
Your fiance is a perfect example, somebody who loves motherhood, great mom, but at the same time, she is, you know, very driven and fulfilled in her work life. Would you say that's fair?
I'm sorry, I got distracted by a text message from the same person we were talking about.
But wouldn't you say that she feels fulfilled in both motherhood and her career? Like,
yes,
yeah, exactly,
absolutely. You can do both. That's the thing that is being ignored by, you know,
him saying that it's lies, and it's just, I don't know, man. But I think that's, you know, we can agree. Just basically fucking. Zip it up next time.
Yeah, man. Just say congratulations. Give them some nice, inspiring message about to take into the world, but don't tell people what they should and shouldn't feel, or that they're going to, you know, feel a certain way. And don't be disparaging towards others that weren't being disparaging towards you.
I know I did fuck with this Swiftie at my work, and I was like, you know, I know all you guys are going to be.
There was such a conundrum for them.
I said, but not let that be. I was telling her, I was like, don't let it be lost that Taylor embraces all of her fans calling her mother, which is...
Does she, like, embrace that, really?
I don't know. I was just fucking with the Swiftie. She's like, shut the fuck up, Nick. But I always like to fuck with her. I always like to make it seem like Taylor Swift's the Antichrist.
Antichrist.
It's fun to get on... You can really get under Swiftie's skin.
Yeah, they're real sensitive. They're out there
also, I cannot stand the Kansas City Chiefs. They might be my least favorite franchise in pro sports.
Yeah, they've definitely been pushing the annoyance boundary for me for the last 2-3 seasons, big time. At first, I was like, oh yeah, Mahomes, he's good. That's great. Good grand. And then, like, his wife and brother really started getting out there and talking to people.
He's up there with them, dude.
Well, I know, but they're cringe
He shows
more.
his true colors now and then.
Sure.
Fucking crying like a little bitch to Josh Allen after the game. Oh, come, that was ridiculous, Josh. Come, that was ridiculous.
Yeah. So what else do we got? We got Red Lobster closing a bunch of stores, filing for bankruptcy.
We're going Red Lobster.
What do we think about all that action?
I did see that, but I don't think any in Missouri are closing.
No way, man. The Fats in Missouri love them some cheddar biscuits. There's no way they'll let...
Chain restaurants are good in the Midwest and South for a little longer.
Here's the thing, right? Like, all these chain restaurants, the problem that that they've done essentially, right, is that holding companies have bought up all these chain restaurants, right? So they're not like a restaurant company. They're a company that has a bunch of money, and they're like, we see money to be made here, and so they buy businesses, and then they like slash and cut all the fat, if you will, to figure out how to streamline the processes and make it as profitable profitable as they can. And in doing that, all they end up doing usually is cutting the quality in half. And then to make up for the quality, they'd be like, well, let's do some major deals. We'll have like whatever, $1 margaritas at Applebee's, those kind of deals, right?
Bahama Mamas.
The
Bahama Mamas. $1 Bahama Mamas.
At the Applebee's.
Love it.
And Red Lobster does those same kind of specials where they're like, well, we know that our quality is like suffered a little bit, so let's do these specials to bring people in the door.
And can you cut quality at a place like Red Lobster? There's a line between Long John Silver and Red Lobster.
Right.
I don't think they should get that close.
I agree, but it just, like, whenever these companies buy these larger corporations, these chain restaurants, and they trim all this stuff out, quality just takes a nosedive. And it's not like bad quality, I would say, but it's just like it's not as it wasn't what it was when it's at its peak, right? What it was when people originally got attracted to going there.
And what do you think over time, like the public perception of chain restaurants certainly started taking a hit? 15 years ago?
Yeah.
And it's been on a decline. But what was the initial thing that started that?
I think it has a lot to do with being, bought up by holding companies that weren't just restaurant
you think this
companies.
Was started it?
Yeah. And that's gone on in everything, not just in restaurants.
Like even when we were like in college, that's when at least kids my age would start being like, oh,
yeah,
you're going to a chain
TGI
restaurant.
Fridays.
Now I still fuck with Applebee's tough, dude, and I'm gonna say that. I'll stand on that. I love Applebee's.
Applebee's revamped their menu a handful of years ago, but for a while they were stale.
Now
and their menu was shit.
Because this is different because I know that they kind of just franchised all their locations after shutting down multiple. And on Steak and Shake, I've gone there a couple times recently, and I've had a way better experience than what I used to.
Yeah,
it used to take forever. The quality wasn't that great. It's all self-serve now. You kind of go to but
I'm glad they figured that part out, because I always felt bad for like the servers at Steak and Shake. You'd come in there with 4 people and your total bill would be $20.
I remember in Bloomington, dude, I fucking applied to be a server at Steak and Shake and didn't get the job. I'm like, what the? Like,
they said not good enough.
They wanted experience. Now I look back like that's so funny.
He said, I could have probably given you guys some experience on how to be a little nicer and quicker to people.
Yeah, but
the thing that they did take away the chicken fingies and fries for a while on the Steak and Shake menu. Yeah, they're back, but they're $4 more expensive than it used to be. That is
one thing I noticed when Des and I went. I was like, "Geez, man!" Like it used to be
$3.99 for chicken fingies and fries. Now we're talking about $7.50.
But that's still cheap compared to like Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's is more,
brother. Tell me about it. But still, like you pay $7.50 and they give you like 3 of the dingiest little cafeteria style chicken fingers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole world of fast food and convenience, and even food from restaurants is like a whole what for.
I saw this post on Reddit today. It was in Alaska, so obviously it's gonna. I mean, food in general has gone up, but like so that means in Alaska where food's generally more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they had like maybe 12 canned goods. And then like a thing of like Rotel or whatever it may be, $100. Said $100 worth of groceries in Alaska, and it was crazy.
I just like, what do you even do? You just have to figure out
from Alaska.
Move.
I mean, probably that's the first thought, but I mean, I guess
change your. I don't know.
But that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it is. You can't. I mean, even like. There's no value menu anywhere. Any dollar menu is like a $2.50 menu these days, right?
But yeah, I think chain restaurants. Do you think chain restaurants will ever be obsolete, like completely?
No, I think there's too many people that like to be able to have familiarity when they travel about the what's
big bags.
The big bags, yeah, those folk.
Big bag.
They're like their familiarity. They like to go to the Golden Corral feeding trough, and they like to go to the Olive Garden and get that sloppy noodle.
Well, I'll fuck up some Olive Garden too.
There's so many better options of noodles.
Yeah, but not bottomless fucking soup, salad, and pasta.
Yeah. I do. I think it's gonna be. They're still gonna be in vogue. Not in vogue. I mean, they're not popular, but I think there's gonna be a consumer base for those type of restaurants still for this foreseeable future, and it could get worse before it ever like goes away. I think it'd be getting, some of them could get more popular because the ability of people to be able to cook for themselves, I think, is becoming lesser. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it swings back.
I do think, going back to the Steak and Shake self-serve, I think all these chain restaurants might come to some form of that where it's all takeout, or you put your order in, you wait for it, you get it, and you can bring it to your table, because I don't think chain restaurants, you can make enough money now as a server there to support yourself.
Right.
So why would you
waste your time? And I think that's going to be best, honestly, for these restaurants in the long run. They can save costs on servers. They don't have to pay servers. They can just pay a small crew of people. What? Okay, we're going to...
No, I'm just
Xavier's
saying,
giving me faces here.
Yeah, it just...
Look, we're going to talk about jobs are going to change.
Now, but when you say that would affect the economy, I mean, a lot of people in their 20s, mainly 20s, but like... still, some in the 30s and even career are food servers, and that's how they pay their bills and everything. Now, don't you think that's gonna? Do you think like what are these people going to do?
It's not going to just happen overnight. It's not like we're going to just lose a large chunk of restaurant and serving jobs overnight. It's going to be a slow, gradual thing. It's going to start with fast food places that they're not being servers and things in the first place. They're just being order takers. Like if you go to McDonald's, it's just somebody at a cash register, right? So
McDonald's, a lot of it's you go into the kiosk now,
right? And so you see it at a Steak and Shake, and that's going to happen. You'll probably see it at like an Applebee's, and then like an Olive Garden after that. But you'll still have the local restaurants, and that's going to set those places apart. Is they're going to have servers and waiters, and what's going to happen is the quality of waiters and servers you get is probably going to go up because the people that are doing the job are going to give it more respect. It's not going to be somebody that's making a small amount of money at a place like Applebee's or Steak and Shake that doesn't care about the job at all. They're just there to make a little bit of money, So I think that you're still going to see those servers and stuff a lot of times at the local restaurants or at the higher end restaurants naturally. But I don't think it's a bad thing if you have like a fast casual place that has a self-order kiosk, like. It's really just saving everybody time and money, because if they can save a little bit of money on labor, hopefully that means they won't raise the price on the food. But we all know that that's a big wish.
How do we get this freaking food bills lowered? Grocery, restaurant, like, hey, is this what it is now? Like, you can't probably reel it back at all, right?
Probably not, because a lot of it, has to do with the source, right? How much companies are paying for the raw materials to make these products. So when that price goes up, the price of everything goes up, I guess. But all these companies are still working in their profit margins. You know what I mean?
But the percentage of how much these goods have gone up are more than the percentage of average income, which is
big time.
It's just creating more of a gap in wealth.
Well, it's gonna lead to a wall at some point, right? People are gonna be forced into a corner where they got to make a choice of. Well, I can't afford certain things anymore, and they're going to have to stop having certain brands or stop having certain snacks and treats and drinks. Like, think about the whole beverage industry, how much money is made and generated just on drinks alone if people just decided, you know what, fuck, I can live on water. I don't need to have all these whatever types of different fancy drinks that we all have, because it's just not worth it.
I feel like, like the
that
Coke,
or Gatorade
Pepsi
sponsors everybody, just like in Idiocracy. They all drink Gatorade all the time.
Gatorade was it's a 32-ounce Gatorade, $2.99 at Quick Trip.
I don't think I've seen anything that's like less than $2.99 for a drink at a gas station these days.
Like, what?
Oh, that did remind me. I'll tell a story, a little anecdote here, a little story from today.
All right.
So I went into the Circle K to get me a Polar Pop. A little 79-cent Polar Pop, right? So I get my drink.
There's
and
still 79 cents?
Yeah, that's some. Hey, I'm giving the people some strong advice here. Get yourself into a Circle K today.
That or a fucking hot dog and soda at Costco. It's like $1.99.
These are the values, folks. These are maybe new sponsors. I don't know.
Costco, we're open.
Circle K, we're here, guys. So I go in there, get myself a little fountain drink, and I pay for it. I'm walking out, and as I'm walking out, I had parked, like by a gas pump that was just out of order or whatever. And I'm walking to my car, and the gas pump area has like the raised concrete bit that it's on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so you can visualize what I'm saying. So I'm walking to my car, and I step over that, and as I step over that, my clumsy ass catches my toe on it, and I like start to fall forward. I catch myself, but the drink just like falls out of my hand and just busts open everywhere. Yeah. What do you do in that situation? Do you walk back inside all shameful and say, "Hey, I just spilled this full drink. I know that I just bought," or do you?
I just buy.
Do you
another
just
drink.
drive down? Do you go in and buy another one, or you just drive to a whole different gas station and shame?
No, I buy another drink. I fucked up, but I'm not gonna ask like, "Oh, hey, can I get another one?" I mean, it's 79 cents. Like you fucked up. That's a 79-cent mistake. You're just gonna have to go, or just. But no, why would I go all the way to another gas station? Unless it's like,
dude, I know
there is that Circle K right there at Gravel and Weber, where it's Circle K and Quick Trip right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could just fucking. All right, it looks like I'm going to Quick Trip.
This is embarrassing.
But no, I mean, if I drop a drink, I'm just going, especially 79 cents, probably 85 after tax.
I sat in my car for a minute, and I was eating on this Taco Bell that I got, and then I said, "You know what? Screw this. Screw this. I'm going in. I'll get another one." So I just went in and bought another drink, like you said. But in my mind, I was like, did they see me do that? Is it too embarrassing to go in? They just saw me check out. But in my defense, I had a different cashier the second time around, so they had no idea that I had just bought a drink a minute and a half earlier. So shame avoided.
Well, I have no room to talk. I'm pretty, especially like, new into carpentry.
Dude.
There's a lot of things to be clumsy, lots of things laying around, and I'm just not used to constantly looking at my feet. So I'm always tripping. First day on the job, like 3 weeks ago now, I'm carrying a big piece of plywood for the flooring and step on something. My feet come out from under me, completely just boom, boom, boom. Like, boom, dude, bruised my whole left ass cheek.
Yeah. I find myself thinking here, I feel like I'm becoming more clumsy here in my last year or so of life. I don't know what's the deal here. I used to be a pretty well coordinated person, but just yesterday, not yesterday, it was 2 days ago. Either way, I was out in the backyard and I was out there with the dog, and the dog was running around doing this and that, and she always runs around, but she's fast. But I'm walking through the yard, and she's like, starts to run at me, and I'm like, uh-oh, here she comes. And she just, boom, barrels into my leg, and I fall over. That's the first time ever a dog has taken me out and made me like come to the ground. I've always been able to either avoid it or like grab the dog and be able to control it, but I couldn't sidestep. I couldn't sidestep my own dog.
What's going to happen at 37 at this rate?
I'm going down. I'm going to need insurance. I'm going to need a doctor's visit. I'm going to need probably a lobotomy. Hell, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, with me too, my eyes, we were 20/20 for the longest time. And at 28, 29, I started to like the scores on Cardinals games and shit would be so blurry. I'm like, what? And then I had to go get my driver's license renewed, and they had me retake that eye test. And I was like, oh my goodness.
They
dude.
said, sir,
I felt
we
so
can't
embarrassed.
have you drive.
They're like, yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, you probably need glasses for your right eye for sure. Glasses? And even now, it's this is 2 years later. I've had glasses for like a year and a half now, and it's so worse without glasses now than when I first got them. And I think that could play a part into, at least for me, my clumsiness is just.
Oh, yeah.
I think just because I have what's it called? The fucking stigmatism. Thank you. I think the stigmatism affects my like depth perception too, because I have terrible depth perception.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. You're used to your vision being one way your whole life, and then when it starts to change, can totally take time to get used to.
Yeah, like sometimes, if I'm drilling something up, I'll be like, am I flush with this? Or even in a car sometimes, I'm like, how much room do I have over there?
Yeah, and
I'm getting bad at it.
That's not something you want to have to question.
No, but this is the moment I'm on. That's why I need to go in 500 hours into the carpet union. I get the health insurance going there. Hopefully get some contacts and get my eyes
That'd be good.
All up. But yeah, dude, we're both getting clumsier, sounds like, and
this old age is killing us.
85 cents of Polar Pop lay.
I had to pay twice for it. Then I was gonna.
I did say this real quick since we're on these kind of topics. I didn't know if I was gonna send this to you, but since we've just been doing this format, St. Louis. This is a positive.
Ooh,
not a lot of positive news recently in St. Louis, but S.T.L leads the way with 26,000 new jobs over the last 12 months.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if you saw that, but
I did see the headline
up there with Indianapolis is up there with 24,000,
and that's over the last how far?
A year.
Last year,
12 months. Yeah.
12 months. There you go.
So yeah, say that. I was like, wow. We've talked so much about the negative shit, and that is definitely a sign of hope. 26,000 new jobs over the last 12 months.
Yeah, because if you're adding jobs, you're either giving people that live in the area opportunity for jobs, or you're bringing in people that live not in the area in for these new jobs, right? So I think that's what we're seeing more of than anything is there's people that are coming into St. Louis to live that have never obviously lived here before, and they're enjoying their time here more than people that were born and raised here ever have.
I think it's because you just get so sour on what you know. And
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of things that are worse even than from my childhood in St. Louis, so I could see that. But I think so many people here, you concentrate on the negatives.
It's about what you hear and see. And you even say, that you feel like some things are worse than even when it was like our childhood. But do you think it's just an awareness of it now when we had that, that bubble from it and we weren't really as aware of what was going on when we were kids probably?
Well, maybe. I mean, I always thought it'd be so cool to live downtown, and then I did, and it was like, there was definitely aspects that I miss. I talked to my old roommate Sean about that, and I'm like, yeah, there are some parts of downtown that I miss, but there's definitely, dude, like, the smell, like it's dirty, like the amount of just
Yeah,
you don't feel safe at all times down there. I'll tell you that.
Every urban area has definitely got challenges, and ours definitely has the most challenges that it's had in a long time. Right now,
but I think the saddest part is like the lack of business and infrastructure for downtown. I think that's taken a hit because of the perception. I feel like the perception, really the downtown was falling off more so because of the perception of it than the actual reality, which is
it's hand in hand. I think
it's becoming the reality because of the perception, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
People stop going down there, businesses die off because they think there's this huge crime rate. But when businesses aren't going there, then it allows for more crime to be had because there's not as much foot traffic. Yeah. And I think that it's kind of created its own slow death. But I think
it definitely
if anything promises
made a spiral.
If it's anything, it's promising that we can maybe reverse that. You see what Detroit's done. I think we've talked about that.
Yeah.
And then I see this graphic about St. Louis having 26,000 new jobs.
That's a lot of
last
jobs.
year. That's like, well, maybe we can take a step forward.
Yeah, I mean, all you can do is maybe say that right now is the what do they call it? The low point, right? Like we've hit rock bottom. We've hit rock bottom, and the only way to go is up from here, right?
You'd hope.
Well, you hope.
You can stay at rock bottom for a while. Like there's nobody, But I don't think we will. I think there's a lot of people that have pride in this city, and you can't just you can't just look at bad things and just say, oh, these are bad, and not want to change them, not be a part of the change. Like otherwise, maybe don't speak on them.
True. Yeah, I would agree. I think that that a lot of the people that live in the city, that actually live in the city proper, do have a positive outlook on things, being able to change and become. And there's a lot of areas of the city that are much better than they used to be. Midtown, obviously, all around IKEA and the Grove, all that area is totally improved over from when we were growing up, even in that area. So sure, downtown proper might be, in certain regards, more desolate, and you got businesses that are gone.
But that's what people like outsiders, like if you're coming from out of town to watch your sports team, you're going downtown, so that's gonna be your perception of that whole city.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that go to different parts of town.
Like, we host some tournaments and this and that, and that's what I worry about is the outside perspective or perception of, oh yeah, I went to St. Louis, and then by that they mean they were downtown the whole week or weekend for a conference or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And but I do think there's a lot of cool, like, maybe they were in town and happened to see, wow, this Battlehawks, it's an XFL, UFL, and there are 35,000 people there for a home game. Like, that's pretty cool.
The folks
that should have some buzz.
Love them some Battlehawks.
And S.T.L City is still going strong, even though the team's starting to fall off a little more. I don't really fuck the MLS, fuck soccer, for real. That's how I feel. But I do want to support S.T.L City.
Yeah.
I do want to support
feelings.
them. But
you just said fuck them.
I said fuck the MLS because it's so boring.
I think you just
to me,
said
but I think it's good
too.
for the city. So maybe,
Man. I mean,
I can't get behind it, though.
All right. That doesn't mean you got to be like, fuck that.
I want them to do well for the city's sake, but, like, I just, I mean,
You're
soccer
just not a
literally
guy.
90 minutes, and it can be 0-0. There could literally be nothing that happens except for a bunch of back and forth. Ooh, oh, ooh, ah. I mean, it gets fucking ridiculous. Draws. Look.
The draws are the worst. I do agree. I do agree.
And it's not like hockey where, and hockey can't even end 0-0. But hockey has so much action jam-packed in the middle of all that.
Yeah. That's what I do love hockey because of the action aspect of it. It just is. It's continuous flow. Yeah. You can hope that hockey gains in popularity, but it kind of seems like it's plateaued a little bit. I mean,
no, it's
NHL
had like a 20%
playoffs
increase. The playoffs have had like a 20% increase in viewership.
NHL playoffs might be the best playoffs of all sports.
Oh, dude, tonight after this, I'm hoping I can take a little nap because Vancouver, Edmonton, Game 7 tonight at 9:00, and I am more excited about. I was just telling Brant at work today. I was like, "Gosh, I wish more people like watched and followed hockey because I'm way more excited for that than any Game 7." But you know, NBA is just so much more popular on a wide scale.
You know, it's narrative driven. The people, the NBA has got more polarizing figures, and they're able to, you know, it's just more. People like storylines, and they like the culture.
No, I do think that hockey is popular, like locally, you know, through all. You know, like in Boston, there's, you know, they're really faithful to the Bruins and stuff, but just like nationally, it doesn't get, you know, it's definitely more of a local thing, just like baseball.
Yep. So, okay, what else? You think, have you had any big fun with the cicadas? We're in the middle of starting a cicada apocalypse or whatever.
I mean, I definitely hear them. There's a couple
you had
that
one
have
land
shed
on
their
you?
bodies, like on my porch. Body, skin, what do they shed? Their fucking skin?
Yeah, a little molting action. They go from being
But, no,
small guys.
So far, they haven't been that prevalent. I mean, I'm aware of them. They've made their presence known in there, but
Yeah. I've cut some lawns and had a few beef come flying out at me.
flying out of you, what are they trying to do?
There's land on you. They just want to. They hear you making noise or whatever, and they come
what
flying
do they do?
out.
What do cicadas do?
What do they do?
Good
What do you mean?
They're good for something.
They're good for the whole ecosystem. Sure,
Yeah,
a ton of
but why?
animals
What
eat them.
Okay.
Birds, fish, they'll
Fish.
eat them. Yeah, because they'll fly and land in bodies of water, rivers, lakes,
Now they
ponds.
come every 7 years.
Well, it's different. There's different broods.
Yeah, I feel like they say
call them.
cicadas come every 7 years, and then it's every year there's one.
Well, there's different broods. And
So we
some
should
of them
stop
more.
saying every 7 years and like, oh, this
This is the 13-year one. These ones come out every 13 years that we're dealing with right now.
That's ridiculous. Because
What do you
I
mean?
see them every year. They're no different. It's not like I know any different. Do you ever stop and say, oh, yeah, I haven't seen these guys in 13 years? No, they're the cicadas.
No,
Like,
I
you
mean,
don't know the difference.
These ones are definitely a lot more in numbers than ones I see every summer.
I have seen that some parts of Illinois is like, dude, it's getting pretty gnarly.
That's what I'm saying. My brother's house, it's like a mat. I have a video I would show you, but I'll show you later. It's just like they're all crawling up around this tree and on the ground and crawling up the tree. All these
they don't bite or nothing, do they?
Thousands. No, they don't bite. They just fly around and make a bunch of noise. They're loud because they're singing their songs, trying to find mates.
Mates?
Yeah.
And they mate for what?
They mate and
They
then
mate and say, all right, 13 years, see you later.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
But what are they doing in these 13 years?
Chilling underground.
They're alive?
Yeah.
How do they live?
They eat substance in the ground, just like a worm or whatever else. Little grub.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. And then they pop out, and then they shed their little skin, and they get up in the trees, and they warm up, and they say, ooh, time to fucking do our thing.
Hell yeah.
Have a bunch of babies, and then they die, and their babies go underground.
It's like
and
a Reds playoff experience.
13 years later, same things. It's just like salmon. They swim upstream for purely to mate and then die. They don't swim downstreams. No, salmon only swim upstream to have their little babies and then call it a day. But that's like they do
What's
it.
the salmon lifespan?
Oh, look at that, Jamie.
Pull it up.
Well, it's like a different batch of salmon every year because they don't. It's not like 1 year and they come the next year and have their babies and die. I think they live for a handful of years.
6.5 years is my guess.
I feel like you're probably right on top of it because I've seen enough little nature docs where I feel like you're sitting right on top of it.
Hey, we had our first YouTube comment a couple episodes ago, and let's get some more, dude. Let's get this chat going. Let's get some dialogue in the chats.
Yeah,
Bob will reply to all of it.
We will try to. We've been inundated with so many emails.
Have we sorted through all those yet?
I don't know. Working on it. We got to hit the filtered file.
Okay, but get back to that. What's the salmon?
So salmon common lifespan is 2 to 7 years.
Oh,
4 to 5 on average. And steelhead trout can live up to 11 years.
Well, steelhead trout, where do they come from?
I don't know. What do you mean? Where do they come from? What does that mean? What does that question mean?
Here comes
a steelhead trout.
No, but what's the drop though?
Watch out! It's Suckboy Tony. Is that?
Watch out! Here comes Suckboy Tony.
Stupid.
I wish we had some drops.
Well, we'll get there. We're building up our inventory of things.
Drop.
One of these days, we gotta, do this thing properly. Get some funding. So that's steelhead trouts. What was I talking about when I got sidetracked by the trout? There was something else.
Cicadas.
Yeah.
13 years.
Would you ever eat a cicada? Apparently they taste like shrimp.
I mean, no, I'll just eat a shrimp.
I would just eat a shrimp if I wanted to taste
It's just
shrimp.
like the whole getting over it in my mind thing.
Yeah.
Like, would I eat a cicada if I had, like,
Didn't know?
I wouldn't be, but I imagine they're crispy. Crunchy guys.
Maybe, I don't know.
They make those noises.
They do got some terrible noises. That's my cicada sound.
That's what it'd be sound like if I took a bite into it.
That's the
Every
action.
13 years, a little noise in my gut goes off.
So, all right. Well, things to come. What are we looking forward to this week? We already previewed
Cubs Cardinals first homestand this weekend.
Joe Buck, Chip Carey on the call.
That'll be cool. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be working down at Ballpark Village. Hopefully, have a lucrative time there because if anything,
It's Memorial Day weekend, holiday weekend coming up.
yeah. Do you think that would be good or worse for business? Cardinals Cubs seems to, and there's less
It's
because
tough.
the schedule's more spread out now, so there's only 2 homestands with the Cubs,
right,
and it's a weekend.
Yeah, it's tough to say because there are obviously quite a few people that travel, out away for Memorial Day weekend, but I do think there's also a strong number of people that either travel to St. Louis for Cardinals and Cubs. They're like, let's just make a holiday weekend of it and go to St. You know what I mean? I bet it's going to be good crowds. It's going to be good crowds. But what I'll tell you is, if you're in a band, don't play any gigs on Saturday or Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. Nobody shows up to bars.
If you're in a band and you're listening to this, I'm sure you already have your gig or don't have your gig.
Well, I'm playing Friday night. I have a gig, so I won't heed my own advice. I won't heed it, but it pays the same nonetheless.
Friday. Well, I'm off Friday, so maybe I'll go see your gig.
Ooh.
But yeah, Saturday, Sunday. I mean,
anything else on the horizon we're looking forward to? We talked about the Vancouver Edmonton game 7 tonight.
I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, I started dating Desi. It'll be a year Memorial Day weekend, so that'll be cool. A little year in with the old girlfriend. Shout out, Desi.
If you like pina coladas, you guys
we're gonna celebrate by working together for Cardinals Cubs weekend.
Yay! Nothing says I love you more than little shared.
But yeah,
working.
So what else is on the horizon?
Well, I don't know. I got nothing major this week. Nope, just gig Friday, and then we're probably gonna go out to the Cabbione on Saturday.
I did get this is not on the horizon, or maybe it is. I think it's more clickbait, but I saw Justin Jefferson spotted near Jets practice facility.
Oh. They said, we know how to get Xavier ignited. Let's give him some Jets.
The New York Jets are all in on the 2024 season. What would be a more all-in move than bringing in the NFL's best receiver? Minnesota's Justin Jefferson is seeking a new deal. He is currently scheduled to play the 2024 season on the fifth-year option of $19.7 million. He was not spotted at Minnesota's voluntary OTAs.
Gasp! I tell you, this is all starting to sound really
and
familiar.
I don't my Jets fandom. No reason to.
Sounded a lot like this last summer.
Every single year, I know as a Jets fan.
The arc.
I'm like 26 years in as a Jets fan. Sounds about right. Every year, I know better than to be excited. I say, this team won't fool me again. I will not be excited until something is happening. And every year, I get excited before the football season starts. Oh, we're making some moves. Usually it's we drafted this quarterback, this quarterback. There's 4 quarterbacks in a row. I've declared as a franchise quarterback. All failures. Aaron Rodgers comes in, tears his Achilles. He's back, though. He's back. We've improved our O-line. We've added a lot of things, and now Justin
What else
Jefferson,
can go wrong?
Nothing. Because Justin Jefferson is spotted.
He's going to be the
facility.
savior.
He loves green and white. I don't know if that's true. He never wore green. So yeah, that's on the horizon. So I like to take this moment to manifest it live on the podcast.
Jets fans are all feeling real good. They usually do this time of year.
Dude.
I tell you, that was something else. The ride that we went on last year, at the beginning of the Jets season. I won't bring that up, but I just did.
I don't know if it was a ride.
It was a ride.
It was like you buy a new car, you pull out the parking lot just right away.
Like, said, you can get a new one next year. I hope you like it by then.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen such a swing of emotion of fans from the pure elation that Jets fans were feeling when Aaron Rodgers comes running out of the tunnel with the American flag, and everybody's like, oh my God.
I have it on my phone. I took
just
a picture.
Raging boners by Jets fans, and then
that was a cool moment.
And then minutes, I know it was. That's what I'm saying. A goosebumps moment for everybody. But then minutes later, the man's on the ground.
Dude, my phone
seriously
was blowing
hurt.
Up. Like it.
I mean, just
and
I won't forget that range, that swing of emotion. It was just crazy that night.
I have never refreshed Twitter so many times.
Well, refresh fingers.
And all these fucking Twitter doctors saying that's his Achilles, and at the time I'm like, sure,
this guy knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, you could see a snap, and fuck you. Oh my gosh. And then in a cruel,
do you think everybody's
cruel though right now that the Jets will be opening the season on Monday Night Football again.
I'm about to say, do you think it's going to be just as big of a build up this year?
Yeah, it will be.
More big? You think it's bigger?
Dude, it's one of those things I hate and love at the same time but one of the football writers came out and did his like best rosters in the NFL. The Jets were number 1. Chiefs for 2, Niners 3. And I was like, oh,
all the Jets fans are just salivating, like, oh my, it's too good. It's too good. I'm telling you,
dude, something bad will happen. I don't know yet.
During training camp, always during training camp.
Please just happen in training camp if it's going to happen. Nothing.
It could, or it'll be during the
AFC
Championship game.
I know you just said, like, from an outside perspective, that's how it felt. Like, dude, I don't know if I've ever like felt such a gut punch.
I mean, dude, it was crazy.
We won that night. If you remember, we went to overtime, had a kick return touchdown, punt return touchdown, and I still feel like I was on the way home, just like, what happened? We won. Shocked. I didn't feel happy, sad. I felt sad. I felt numb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it was crazy.
Sports fan.
Looking back on it. Yep. It'll move you.
You know, and I think that sometimes, like, I do lose a passion, I guess, behind some stuff. Maybe like all sport. But I still, like, when it comes to watching my teams, I feel pretty, at 31 years old, I still pretty, if I watch the Blues, it can make me very happy or very upset. Same with the Cardinals.
Yeah. Mizzou football's on my short list.
Mizzou football, that's on the horizon. And how are you? We are being projected by a lot of people to be not only a playoff team, but a deep run playoff team.
We'll see. I try not to let my hopes get too high with it.
Yeah, me too. Because last year we weren't expected to do shit, and we were around the cup. So
I think that's where they play better. I feel like is when people don't expect them to do well, and then they'll come in and do their thing, as opposed to when the expectations are higher. I don't think it's harder for them to live up to expectations. I feel like
we'll be along for all the ride, and but yeah, I think that's a lot of sports talk, and I think I feel like we've spearheaded everything there is to spearhead.
Yep.
Yeah. Good episode, folks. I feel like I had a lot more energy this episode than.
Yeah, Xavier, go ahead and don't hurt your arm, patting yourself on the back. I'm proud of you.
I'm trying not to. I couldn't be more proud of myself.
Well, I'm glad.
I'm almost proud for you, but
no,
definitely proud of myself.
Yes, sir.
But
all right. So for this episode of Sit Talk and Listen, we're gonna shut it down. Peace.